Hello everyone, I'm Cosmic Dreamer. Today we are going to discuss the history of UFOs. UFO incidents have always been one of the most captivating topics in the world, because we are always curious about the unknown, especially when it comes to the question of whether there is life beyond humans in the universe. Before the invention of cameras and video recorders, these bizarre events could only be documented through words and oral accounts, which often lacked credibility. However, in the more than 100 years since the invention of the camera, thousands of UFO sightings have been recorded worldwide, making it difficult to determine how many of these are genuine. Nonetheless, there are certainly some phenomena that go beyond our understanding. Today, we will summarize the most famous UFO photos captured by humans over the past 150 years, both ancient and modern, from around the world, to give you a clear understanding. The first appearance of UFOs is untraceable, but their traces can be found in many ancient documents, artifacts, and murals around the world, indicating that UFO phenomena did not just appear in modern times. It was not until the invention of the camera in 1839 that these strange objects in the sky were documented in the form of light and shadow. According to research, the world's first UFO photograph was taken in 1870 at the summit of Mount Washington in New Hampshire. At that time, the photographer was trying to capture the scenery of the snow-capped mountains and unintentionally photographed this strange object. During that era of underdeveloped camera technology, photos had an ink-like quality. But it can be seen that this unidentified object appears entirely black, set against the thick clouds. This is said to be the earliest UFO photograph in China, taken in 1942 on the bustling Heping Road Commercial Street in Tianjin, which was then the capital of Hebei province. One morning, many people witnessed an unidentified object in the sky. A Japanese photographer happened to be passing by, and he captured this photograph with his camera. In the photo, you can see many people looking up at the object. Later, Japanese newspapers reported the event on their front pages, making it the first UFO photograph in China. On February 25, 1942, just 2 months after the United States declared its participation in World War II. At 2 a.m., a large number of unidentified lights suddenly appeared over the west coast city of Los Angeles, witnessed by tens of thousands of people who began to panic. Initially, people suspected they were Japanese bombers, and later thought they might be Japanese balloon bombs. The U.S. 37th Coast Artillery Brigade fired 1,400 anti-aircraft shells, but not a single light was shot down. A photographer captured this famous photograph, and the event became known as the Battle of Los Angeles. In December 1944, as the end of World War II approached, on the European front, a large number of American bombers began heavily bombing Germany. To avoid German anti-aircraft guns, these bombers mostly operated at night. One night in late December, a crew member of an American bomber near Breisach, Germany, saw several fire-red glowing spheres flying alongside the bomber. As an observer, he immediately grabbed his camera and took a few photos. However, he did not report the incident afterward. It wasn't until other pilots reported seeing these unidentified objects that the incident became known to the world. These unidentified objects were called Foo Fighters. They frequently appeared alongside Allied fighter planes during World War II, moving at high speeds and suddenly appearing or disappearing. However, they never attacked the Allied fighter planes. According to artists' renderings, these orange-red Foo Fighters looked like this. Some say they were flying saucers developed by Nazi Germany, while others believe they were plasma clouds. To this day, there is no definitive answer. On June 24, 1947, an American pilot named Kenneth Arnold was flying over Mount Rainier when he saw a series of 9 glowing UFOs. He described the shape of these UFOs as resembling a crescent moon, with an orange protrusion in the middle. He estimated their speed to be at least 1,100 miles per hour. At that time, no aircraft in the world could achieve such a speed. The U.S. Air Force had not yet been established, so Arnold submitted a report to the U.S. Army Air Forces. The report included annotated sketches of the 9 objects. This was the first UFO incident to cause a worldwide sensation after World War II, and is considered the beginning of modern UFO sightings. Since then, UFO sightings have significantly increased worldwide. The terms flying saucer and flying disc became popular vocabulary. More coincidentally, just 10 days later, the world-famous Roswell incident occurred in New Mexico, USA. The UFO that allegedly crashed in Roswell bore a striking resemblance to the shapes described by Arnold. In 1950, a couple living in McMinnville, Oregon, USA, took a photograph of a UFO. Later, this photograph was published by Life magazine in the USA, becoming one of the most famous UFO photos. After image enhancement, it can be seen clearly as a hat-shaped object. At that time, Life magazine promised to return the negatives to the couple after publication. However, the magazine later informed them that the negatives were accidentally lost. In 1951, an American Air Force officer named Edward Ruppelt captured a V-shaped luminous object composed of multiple light points. This is one of the rare UFO photos released by military personnel, thus considered to be highly credible. According to Ruppelt, they were sitting in the backyard of a professor's house in Lubbock, Texas. They saw a total of 20 to 30 light points flying overhead. Initially, they thought it was a meteor, but the lights formed a regular V-shape, making them believe it was a UFO. So, they took this photograph. This incident caused a sensation and was called the Lubbock Lights incident. Later, someone created artistic renditions of the Lubbock Lights. This is very similar to the V-shaped UFO in the 1997 Phoenix Lights incident in the USA. In 1952, a man named George Adamski captured a cigar-shaped UFO in his backyard using a 6-inch telescope. It can be seen that its structure appears to be composed of rings. The image is so clear because Adamski claimed to have had contact with these extraterrestrial civilizations. According to him, these cigar-shaped UFOs come from Venus, and they live inside the planet. Their base on Earth is also inside the planet, located in a huge cavity in the mantle. These cigar-shaped UFOs are suitable for traveling thousands of kilometers underground to reach the mantle, entering and exiting through active volcanoes. They then release smaller UFOs, so there is a chance to capture images of these cigar-shaped UFOs during volcanic eruptions. He also released a close-up photograph of a Venusian Scout UFO, which is practically a close-up shot. In 1952, Washington, D.C. reported a series of UFO incidents. Someone captured a formation of unidentified light points flying over the U.S. Capitol. They were thought to be Soviet secret aircraft and also considered to be weather balloons. In 1957, an FBI employee captured an image of a large unidentified object near Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico, USA. This object appeared to have a long flaming tail. Near Holloman Air Force Base is the famous White Sands Missile Range, one of the highest security areas in the USA, where the world's first atomic bomb Trinity test was conducted. Various advanced weapons were later tested here. So, some suspected that the UFO in the image was a secret aircraft being tested by the USA. The flaming tail in the image suggests that it was still using conventional propulsion. In 1967, another cigar-shaped UFO was photographed near Rhode Island, USA. Its length was estimated to be 700 feet, and there was a smaller spherical, or disc-shaped object in the lower right corner of the photo. In many sightings of cigar-shaped UFOs, there is a spherical object nearby. Some believe that the cigar-shaped UFO is a mothership, and the spherical or disc-shaped object is similar to a reconnaissance aircraft. This is an aerial photograph taken by the Costa Rican National Geographic Institute. Please note the disc on the left. In 1971, a group of hydrology experts were conducting aerial photography 3 kilometers above Lake Texcoco. A camera was mounted on the bottom of the survey plane, taking pictures of the area at 20-second intervals. After taking the photos, they did not notice anything unusual. It wasn't until the photos were developed that a metallic disc-shaped object appeared to be hovering in the air. This has been hailed as the most perfect UFO photograph ever taken. The photo was later handed over to NASA for analysis, and it was concluded that the photo was not faked. The disc has light and dark shadows, which are 3D object characteristics produced by direct sunlight. The disc is estimated to be 118 feet in diameter, and it seems to be either coming out of the water or about to enter the water. On July 1, 1973, A Canadian couple was playing at Tagish Lake. Suddenly, they saw 7 strange glowing orbs on the lake's surface and immediately took a photo. This photo became widely circulated, taken during the day, and the light points were very high, making it difficult to fake. However, it was discovered that a few hours after they took the photo, a magnitude 6.7 earthquake occurred in nearby Carcross. Therefore, some believe they captured earthquake lights, an optical phenomenon caused by the friction of quartz and rock layers, generating charges before or after an earthquake. Only about 0.5% of earthquakes produce plasma-state earthquake lights. However, these glowing points are so clear and orderly that it is hard for people to believe they are earthquake lights. In 1974, a doctor in the Var department of France, who was also a photography enthusiast, accidentally captured a photo of an orange-red glowing UFO at the seaside at night. The bottom of this UFO seemed to emit 4 beams of light. In 1976, on the Canary Islands off the west coast of Africa, which is Spanish territory, a UFO event witnessed by thousands of people occurred. At around 8 p.m., a huge orange-red glowing sphere appeared in the sky, as bright as the sun but much larger. The key point is that this was at night, making it impossible to see the sun. Thus, this photo became one of the most classic UFO photos. In 1981, a Mexican photographer named Carlos Diaz was driving back after taking photos at the local Ajusco Mountain National Park. On his way back, as it was getting late, he suddenly saw an orange-red UFO in the distance near the mountain. He immediately stopped the car and took a photo with his camera. It was a very clear disc-shaped object, seemingly hovering near the mountain, with a semi-transparent amber color. When Diaz tried to take another photo, his camera film suddenly jammed. Just as the UFO was slowly rising, Diaz managed to take another shot. Diaz later developed the film and handed it over to Professor Victor at the University of Mexico for analysis. After enhancing the negatives, he found that these photos exceeded all known camera parameters. The light emitted by the UFO was very intense. The UFO had a diameter of about 100 feet and was only 16 feet above the ground. Moreover, the spectrum of light emitted by the UFO was something he had never seen before. What's more special is that the UFO Diaz captured was very similar to the one photographed by the doctor in Var, France, in 1974. It might even be the same UFO. At 3 a.m. on June 23, 1990, a group of dragon snake-shaped unidentified flying objects composed of numerous glowing points passed through the night sky of Kaifeng, Henan, China, and fell to the ground. This became the sensational Kaifeng 623 UFO incident, the only UFO event in China with physical evidence. That night, someone witnessed a long, strip-shaped glowing object silently flying across the sky over Kaifeng, Henan. Moreover, someone took a photo where a high-rise construction crane can be seen. The UFO was led by a glowing ball the size of a basketball, followed by a line of glowing balls the size of fists. Many fist-sized glowing balls followed behind. Eventually, this series of objects fell to the ground locally. It caused casualties, and the Kaifeng police immediately responded. Finally, they learned the truth of the incident at the home of Xing Zhiqiang on Zhuangqiao Street. The object fell and hit his tiled house, also knocking over a bicycle. The police found fragments of the UFO in Xing Zhiqiang's yard, weighing 7.7 pounds. It was silver-gray overall, with a ridge in the middle and 1.5 inches thick. After testing, it was found that its melting point was above 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. They found senior engineer Xu Guozhao from the Luoyang 725 Research Institute, who analyzed it using the most advanced chemical scanning microscope produced in Japan at the time. The analysis showed that the fragment was non-radioactive, containing 89% aluminum, 6% magnesium, 3% silicon, and 0.3% zinc. Xu Guozhao believed that based on the analysis results alone, it could not be determined if the fragment was made by aliens, but it was definitely not from an airplane or satellite. This incident is also known as the Chinese version of the Roswell incident. In 1991, a Belgian teacher was observing the night sky in the wild when a giant triangular UFO flew overhead. He quickly grabbed his camera and took a photo. After that, sightings of this legendary triangular UFO, known as the TR-3B, were reported all over the world. It is said that this is an anti-gravity aircraft reverse-engineered by humans from a crashed alien UFO, appearing in various places around the globe. In 2007, someone in Turkey captured a very clear photo of a UFO. How clear was it? When the image was enlarged, you could even see two small beings with large heads inside the UFO. They looked very much like the legendary gray aliens, and the two seemed to be sitting in an open-top UFO. It felt very unreasonable, so such overly clear photos were instead considered to be inauthentic. In 2021, someone captured a triangular UFO by the seaside again. The triangular shape was clearly visible from the shadow on its bottom. Because it was not far from the California coast, more than one person saw it. Someone also recorded a video using an iPhone. You could see 5 glowing points on the bottom. It is said that after the 1990s, triangular UFO sightings were the most frequent. And often, they were of the same model. Some had 5 lights, others had 3, possibly indicating power levels or being switchable. In modern times, with the improvement of photography technology, UFOs captured are increasingly clear. For example, this UFO photo taken with a Hasselblad camera from a space shuttle, published on NASA's official website. It was considered to be a triangular UFO. However, some believe it is just a piece of triangular space debris. There is also the legendary alien Black Knight satellite orbiting Earth, which was eventually proven to be a piece of oddly shaped space debris. This photo was also provided by NASA. For instance, take this spherical UFO captured by a night vision camera. It is very bright and well-defined, giving the impression of a solid object. It is said that as long as you shoot outdoors with night vision equipment, you can capture many strange luminous objects. What exactly are they? There is still no definitive answer. Moreover, there is a phenomenon nowadays where photos and videos of UFOs seem to always be unclear. Those that are clear are often considered fake. For example, this triangular UFO was accidentally captured by a woman in Ontario, Canada, while playing outdoors with her family. Its shape, position, and movement trajectory are all very clear, but being too clear makes it seem unreal. So, should UFOs be clear or not? Maybe even the UFOs themselves are confused. Firstly, these UFO sightings are not limited to the United States. Someone has compiled data showing that UFOs have appeared on all continents: North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and even Antarctica. It's just that American media are keen on reporting these incidents. UFOs are also a part of American culture, which creates the illusion that they only appear in the United States. However, this is not the case at all. If there really are aliens, they would certainly treat all parts of the Earth equally. From these UFO photos over the years, we can see that their shapes can be roughly divided into 3 types: disc-shaped, spherical, and cigar-shaped. So why have UFOs been predominantly disc-shaped from ancient times to the present? Just like our human aircraft, although they vary, they all have 2 wings, and their general shape is disc-like. Similarly, if these UFOs indeed come from beyond Earth, we can imagine that they come from at least 3 different civilizations. And the common point is that their aircraft do not conform to aerodynamics. This means their propulsion methods are completely different from ours, perhaps using the Earth's magnetic field, gravity, or other more advanced forms of flight. So they can be made in shapes that defy aerodynamics. Are these 3 civilizations connected? Or have they long been visiting Earth as if it were a zoo? We do not know. Only when we capture definitive evidence of their existence with sufficiently powerful equipment will we solve this ancient mystery. Alright, that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.